When was the last time you told someone, truly told them, how much they mean to you? Not a quick text, not a thumbs up emoji, not a casual love you on the way out the door. I mean, really looked them in the eyes and said the words that your heart has been holding back for years, today. I want to share a story about a simple blue ribbon, 4 words written on it, and how those 4 words traveled from a university classroom all the way to a father and his son sitting on a porch step, both in tears, finally saying what needed to be said for years. Stay with me until the end of this story, because the lesson hidden inside just might change the way you see the people sitting right next to you today. One ordinary afternoon, a university professor walked into her classroom and announced that her students were about to take part in an experiment unlike anything they had done before. She handed each student 4 small blue ribbons, each one pinned in the shape of a bow, and on every single ribbon were these 4 words: "You matter to me." She asked each student to pin 1 ribbon on themselves right then and there, because each person in that room was genuinely important and meaningful in her life. Then she gave them their mission. Think carefully about the one person in your life who means the most to you and give them the 2nd ribbon. Tell that person about the experiment and ask them to pass the remaining 2 ribbons forward to someone who matters most in their life. The goal was simple but powerful: to watch how one small gesture could ripple out and touch people in ways no one could predict. The students left the classroom, each one quietly turning over in their minds who deserved their ribbon. Some thought of a parent, some of a sibling, some of a boyfriend or girlfriend. But one student in this group was far from home. He had moved to this big city alone, and his family was nowhere nearby. He stayed up all night thinking, and by morning, he knew exactly who his ribbon belonged to: his friend. This was the man who had encouraged him to apply to this university in the first place, who had sat with him through the hardest coursework, who explained what no textbook ever could, and who showed up every single time things got difficult. After class, he went straight to his friend's workplace. No call ahead, no warning. His friend was surprised and a little worried, assuming something had gone wrong. But the student sat down, told the whole story, handed his friend 3 ribbons, and asked him to wear one on his lapel right now. "I am far from home," he said quietly, "and in this big city, you are the closest and most important person in my life." The friend was moved, genuinely moved, in a way he had not felt in a long time. He promised to keep the experiment going. And as the workday was ending, a bold and unexpected idea came to him. He would give his last 2 ribbons to his boss. His boss was a hard man, sharp, always busy, always demanding. The kind of person no one would ever dare approach for something personal. He asked the secretary if he could have a few minutes. He waited. Finally, he was let in. His boss was buried in papers, reading new project proposals without looking up. "What do you need?" the boss asked bluntly. The young employee, heart-pounding, explained the experiment and held up the 2 small blue ribbons. The boss looked up and asked, "Why on earth would you give these to me?" And the young man told the truth, that he admired his boss's drive, his discipline, his ability to build something great, and that working alongside him had taught him more than he could put into words. He said he was proud to be part of this team. The boss sat back. He was quiet for a long moment. Compliments like these, sincere ones, not flattery, were rare at his level. He took both ribbons. He pinned one to his chest and slipped the other carefully into his pocket. His employee said goodbye and left. And something shifted in that office that no one could quite explain. That evening, the boss did something he almost never did. He went home on time. His wife was stunned. She asked what was wrong, and he told her everything was fine, that tonight he simply wanted to be with his family. She could hardly believe what she was hearing. He asked where their son was. The boy came downstairs, confused, a little cautious, because a father who came home early and asked for his company was not something he had experienced very often. They walked out together and sat down on the front porch steps side by side. The father looked at his son, really looked at him, and saw something in his boy's eyes he had been missing for too long. A quiet sadness, a longing to be seen. And then this hard, serious, always busy man began to speak from his heart. He told his son that he knew he had not been there enough, that he understood what had been lost, and that he was ready to change. He took the last blue ribbon from his pocket, pinned it to his son's shirt, and said, "The day you were born was the happiest day of my life. I am proud of you. You are the most important thing I have." The boy's eyes filled with tears. He grabbed his father and held on. "Dad," he whispered, "I thought you didn't need me. I love you. Please forgive me." And there on that porch, in the quiet of the evening, a father and his son held each other and cried, and everything that had gone unspoken for years was finally said. The experiment worked, not because of any complicated psychology, not because of any grand gesture, but because each person in this chain simply said out loud what they had always felt on the inside, but never found the courage to speak. We live in a world that moves fast, that rewards toughness and silence, that tells us showing our feelings is weakness. But this story reminds us of something we already know deep down, that the people around you are quietly waiting to hear that they matter. Your friend, your coworker, your parent, your child. They are waiting, and so are you. You don't need a blue ribbon to change someone's day, or their week, or maybe even their life. You only need the willingness to say what is true, that this person in front of you is important, that you see them, that you are grateful they exist in your world. When you allow yourself to be honest about what you feel, you don't just give something to the other person. You free something inside of yourself. So here is your challenge today. Think of one person in your life who deserves to hear those words. One person who has been waiting, maybe without even knowing it. Reach out. Say it. Do not wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is always right now. If this story moved you in any way, if it reminded you of someone in your own life, if it brought up a memory, a feeling, something you have been meaning to say for a long time, I want to hear about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your words are genuinely valuable to me, and they are what makes sharing stories like this one worth every single moment. Let's keep this conversation going together.